What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic, hitting y'all ass up with another video. Shout out to Hatman Boxing, seeing him talking about this subject right here. Eddie Hearn basically said on a sports talk radio show over there in the UK that Anthony Joshua was only gonna fight twice a year now because the events are so huge, and they plan on breaking other markets such as the Middle East, Far East, Africa, and of course the United States. But that's just a disappointment, and that's a trend that Floyd Mayweather set to fight once, twice a year. He said the camps are so long. The camp shouldn't be long. You really only need 6 weeks to train for a fight, because you always stay in shape, especially when you don't have to make weight. And these fighters are just getting lazy, bro. I mean, I heard that Keith Thurman from Azuma TV, shout out to him one more time, that Keith Thurman doesn't plan on coming back till November. And these guys, these guys fighting 2 times a year, that holding these belts, man, they taking opportunities away from guys and contenders that need to be fighting for these belts. I mean, on average, you should be fighting 3 times a year: the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year if you're a champion. Period. And for Anthony Joshua to only want to fight, 2 times a year, that's crazy. I understand. I remember Floyd Mayweather came, it's going to take 6 months to build a pay-per-view and all that. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Because you fighting 2 times a year, that shit is whack. You know what I mean? Like, at least fight 3 times a year. The old timers used to fight like 8 times a year. And of course, you're going to last 10 years like he wants to last. If you're fighting 2 times a year and you're taking opportunities away. You know what I mean? I don't care how massive you get. You're not at that point yet. He thinks he's at that point, that he's being a superstar. You beat an old fucking Klitschko. You know what I mean? Who has ever became a crossover star by beating, in a legit pound-for-pound star, by beating an old fucking dude? I never seen it before. I understand that Mayweather and Pacquiao beat an older Oscar, but both of those pound-for-pound status were already submitted long before Oscar De La Hoya. Period. You know what I mean? Period. And that's just bullshit, man. That's bullshit. These guys want to fight the minimum of the sport, talking about the health and all that stuff at the end of the sport. But at the end of the day, they want people to go out there and support them. But you're not giving people the quality shots. If you're a champion, you need to be fighting 3 times a year. And that's just my opinion on it. You know what I mean? And the trends that these guys are setting, that Floyd and Pacquiao are setting, people don't look at it hard enough. Of course, Pacquiao, Floyd, Marquez, Cotto, just to name a few off rip, yes, they can fight 2 times a year. Because when they were Anthony Joshua's age, they were fighting 3-4 times a year. They were fighting any and everybody. They were champions, moving up through the ranks, fighting any and everybody. And now people look at them and say, oh, they cherry picking. They picking their fighters. They picking what they want. Yes, they picking who the fuck they want to fight, because guess what? At the end of the day, they earn that right. They blood, sweat, and tears. Pacquiao, what he do? 8 division. Floyd Mayweather, 5 division champion. Cotto, 3 division champion. Marquez, 3 or 4 division champion. Whatever the fuck he is. But at the end of the day, they earn the right. They put the labor in to be able to pick and choose and when they want to fight. Period. They don't need a belt to define them anymore. They sell without the belt. They get the number 1 contenders. They get the top prospects who they want to fight, the pick of the litter who they want, because they earn that right. Anthony Joshua hasn't earned shit in the sport of boxing. They only fight 2 times a year and then pick and choose who he want to fight, because his promoter can take the money, can pay the sanctioning bodies through the back door. If I was most of these fighters, I would say fuck these belts and these sanctioning bodies at the end of the day. Because what are they good for? They just get a percentage of your purse. It's more money that you got to pay. The only reason that people truly do fight for the belt still is for the stupid little prestige, and the point of the fact that it gets them the fights that they want. That's it. That's the only point. You think Errol Spence be going through the IBF guidelines? He wants the belt to attract other fighters to get the fight that he wants. And that's it. That's period. That's the only fucking reason why. Because it brings you the fights that you want. Once you get to a certain status of popularity and you beat all those guys, you gain a couple of those belts, and you become the guy in a division or the guy in sport of boxing, a real pound-for-pound star in America, in the world. People know who you are. You don't have to fight for the belts no more. The belts are pointless. They're pointless. There's no prestige. Just it's the IBF, the WBC, the WBO. Then if you go a little lower, it's the IBO. 3 or 4 belts with subs divisions to the belt. Super. The ring belt. You got all these different belts that don't mean a goddamn thing at the end of the day. Because it's 3 belts. It's 3 or 4 or 5 champions in one weight division. So what does it mean? Don't let them fool you. Because he was a world champion. It doesn't mean anything to the point that after Mayweather, after Pacquiao, after Marquez, after Cotto, those were kind of world champions, even though they was a little bit watered down from what it used to be. Used to be one champion, one division. Need to get back to that. You know, at least one champion per weight belt. And it's 2 or 3 per weight belt now. Some of them, and it's getting sickening. It's getting crazy. But for Anthony Joshua, only want to fight 2 times a year because he's such a big star now. Because he's 19-0 and 19 TKs is bullshit. I don't give a fuck if he fight anybody in the top 10 at one of those fights. You know what I mean? He needs to fight a contender at one of those fights and then defend his belt versus 2 good champions. And it's only 4 guys that potentially really could beat him in that division. You know what I mean? But they always want to string it out, wait it out. Nobody wants to get to it no more. Nobody wants to fight. Oh, I want to go fight the WBC champion. Oh, then I'll fight my number 1 contender to this belt. Oh, let me go fight the WBA champion or the IBF champion. Then I'll fight my number 1 contender that way. Nobody wants to string together a nice selection of fighters anymore. You know, everybody wants a soft touch, big fight, soft touch. And it's sickening that trend has been kept in. And people want to hold these belts like they really champions. And Anthony Joshua holding the IBF and the WBA belt like he's a fucking champion. You didn't beat the guy who got the belts in the first place. You didn't beat Tyson Fury. The WBA belt was handed to you. They strip Fury all his belts, and people act like, oh, I got a free vacant belt. Well, I beat Charles Martin, the guy who beat the guy for a vacant belt that tore his ACL. Oh, I'm a champion. You're not a fucking champion. You know, you're not a champion. You know what I mean? You're a paper champion. For you to go and say, I want to fight 2 times a year now and let your promoter run you around like you on a fucking leash, take control of y'all goddamn careers out here. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm going to fight 2 times a year. That shit is pussy, dog. It's pussy to me, dog. And everybody get a taste of that fame, a taste of that fortune. Now they want to protect it like it's their life. Nobody got pride and want to scared to let they all go. They scared to lose. Joshua tasted that canvas and Eddie Hearn went into a fucking mile shot. Nope, it's not necessarily the fighters' fault. It's the promoters. They letting these shirt and tie blue collar guys that never took a punch in their face get in the middle of business and holding your nuts and being a grown ass man and taking control of your career. Stop letting the suits and the white collar people control your goddamn career. Take it into your own hands. You want to go fight motherfucking Deontay Wilder? Go do it. He been calling you out for 8 months, pussy. You know what I mean? You looking like a pussy, but everybody overlook because I like Joshua. I like the way he punched. He punched hard. But when Triple G was gunning down Canelo, everybody going down Canelo thought you a bitch. You a bitch. When Pacquiao was running down for you a bitch. You a bitch. When all that other shit. You know what I mean? All the other shit that go down. You know what I mean? The dynasty, you a bitch. You a bitch. You a bitch. But when it come to your favorite fighter, you don't say shit. Oh, I just gonna pay to watch Anthony Joshua fight 2 times a year. 1 bum and 1 decent fight. Come on, man. Put pressure on him like you put pressure on every other fighter. If you're going to fight 2 times a year, 2 fights need to be Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder next to. I don't want to see a Klitschko rematch. He's done. Period. We gone.